Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am back with another plan with me, kind of a different one. So you probably saw the title, but what I'm going to be doing is kind of setting up a mid-March change for my personal planner. One of the things I realized over the weekend was that one, I am extremely busy basically until the end of the month and going into the beginning of April. And two, I really just have very little time to be decorative since I am so busy. And so I decided today that instead of doing a regular like decorating with stickers plan with me, what I'm going to do instead is set up for the rest of the month with some daily pages. And so this is me actually doing a very functional plan with me. I just wanted to take you along for the ride so that way you can see how I set up for those times when I am extremely busy. So first things first, you see here already that I have some daily pages. So just as a kind of like context, these pages right here are, you can see, from 2020. And my sister decided several years back, like in 2020, actually before 2020, that she would try to do daily pages. She ended up buying multiple sizes, including this big size. It's a letter size tool daily page like you see tool right here, but it's a daily page system where it's actually a day on 2 pages. I'll show you what it looks like. I'll show you what it looks like without writing on it. And so this is a page. I actually had to add some pages in here, so it won't matter in just a second, but I did add a couple of pages. And you can see here that it's basically a day on 2 pages. This side has the hourly, and then it's just lines. And then this side is kind of lined, but also kind of blocked off a little bit. And so I'm going to try to use all of this space for daily planning. I think for the end of the month, I might add some stickers in for the second half, but mostly it's going to be me adapting this to the needs that I have for the rest of the month. And so what we're going to do is, I am this year using classic size. I would prefer to use classic size. And so of course I could just pull this out and use it exactly as is, but it is outdated, one, and also it's the wrong like day of the week. So what I'm going to do instead is just kind of try to see if I can get it down to classic. I did do some of these measurements beforehand, but I'm going to show you what this looks like. So I have, actually let me go ahead and flip it back out here, and I'll just pull like a single like spread. So I have 2 daily pages, sorry, 2 classic size pages here. So this first one right here, what I'm actually thinking is I want to keep the hours, because one of the things that I love to do when, especially when I'm busy, is to keep the hourly planning. I'm not going to use it all the time, but it's nice to be able to time block and just kind of get that going. And what I am planning to do is just kind of stick it in the corner right here. And so you can see here, I'm actually going to use a pencil to draw these lines so we can kind of see it together. But I'm going to just like trace out these lines. I should have done this on the other way, but it's fine too. Right, again, this is not going to be perfect, but like I am so extremely busy. I was very busy over the weekend and could not get any recording done just because there was just like a lot of stuff happening with my family. And you know, it's all good. It was fine. I got to spend a lot of time with my family, but there's also just like so much happening, and I feel like I'll be making list after list after list for the rest of March. So I thought this would be, I don't know, just it would be more efficient. You know, sometimes I go into like these seasons where I'm just extremely busy, and you know, I just got to do what I got to do, and it's just pen to paper, you know, but I want to be able to be prepared for it. So I went ahead and outlined it, and I think you can kind of see it. So right here, if I cut it down to classic size, it will be cutting off basically all of the outdated numbers here, minus this like very last row. You can see the 31 is within the lines, but then it cuts it right here. And I think it's fine that it isn't like perfectly like, you know, it ends with the punches and all that kind of stuff. I think it's totally fine. And then the same thing with this side, it cuts off basically all the outdated parts here at the top. And then I lose to-do lists and notes, but I think that's totally fine. It will help me to kind of be able to adapt it to what I need to do. So with all that being said, the dates being out of order really don't matter at this point, especially if I'm cutting it down to classic. So what I'm going to do is pull out my paper trimmer and just go to town and cut these pages down. Some of these pages you can see, actually, I don't know if I showed this to you, but like some are like with this pattern on the side and some aren't. And my sister gave this to me, and she ended up using some pages. That's why I was like flipping through some of it and trying to show you something without writing on. But she gave these pages to me. I used some of them, but then also, you know, I've just had it in my stash. And so part of what I was doing last week was cleaning up my planner supplies and trying to, again, like trying to use the stuff that I have, right? So what I'm gonna do is trim it. I did draw out the lines, but I also know that the classic size is going to be 7 inches wide, and then 9¼ like right here, in length. So I'm just gonna trim all of this, and this part I'll just kind of fast forward through, but I'll leave you on. You can hear the noise, but we'll fast forward through this section. Okay, my pages are done and I'm super happy about it. Actually, now they're cut down to classic size, and like I ended up, like some of these pages have writing on it. I totally have not checked through it, but it is where, let me try to flip it to where it will work, right? So it will look like this. So I did trim off basically the top and then some of the sides right down here in the middle, but it kept the daily schedule, which is actually the part that I need the most. And then I still have the check boxes here. I don't know if you can see that, but there are check boxes right here. And then there's just space to punch, and like, I think it's perfect now. It's just basically lined paper with the daily schedule down one side and then a checkbox on this side. So it's perfect. So what I'm gonna do now is punch. Again, probably fast forward through this part, and I'm going to hope that all of these are turned the correct way. I do try to keep it pretty organized to where it's the right way, but I'm gonna punch just a few at a time using my Happy Planner punch, and this will go straight into my Franken planner. So we're just gonna punch through these. Okay, perfect. So I am definitely so busy in March, but if I love the system, I actually have so many packs. She ended up buying like 2 packs on clearance of the 2020. And so now that I've cut it down though, it's amazing because like you basically cut it down and it's undated pages at this point, which is great. And one of the things that I really love about this, which is one of the reasons I'm doing this instead of using the daily pages that I've been using, is that the times here go from 6:30 all the way until 11 o'clock. And so it's every half hour all the way down. And so if you have used the hourly pages, the hourly daily pages from the Happy Planner, actually let me pull out one and show it to you. If you use this sheet instead, it goes from 6 until 10, but then right here at the bottom, like 7, 8, 9, and 10 don't get split out by half hours. So it works just as fine, but a lot of times like there are like really late events in my life. And so being able to like be consistent and have it be all the way until basically when I go to sleep at 11, it's perfect, I think. So this is what I've got. I basically have it set up now, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find one of the sheets that I have stuck in here. Let me see if I can find one. All right, so I guess it doesn't really matter, but basically what I'm gonna do is like flip it open right here. And there are a couple of things that I'm gonna do on this daily page. So the very first thing is I want to be able to kind of designate a spot for like big work events. And so I'm pulling out my ruler here. I'm still going to use the pencil. I think using pencil for just the time being will work. And so what I'm going to do is I have this ruler that's already like, you know, it's basically the width, and I'm just kind of using it against this one line right here. And as I'm doing this, you know, one of the things that, you know, if you're thinking about doing something similar, kind of setting up like a all-in-one daily two pages per day, like 1 day per 2 pages, you can absolutely do this just with like dotted lined paper. I think it's like pretty easy to do it like that actually. And so I'm gonna put right here a spot, and well, I guess let me backtrack. One of the things I want to be able to do is like right here have like categories across like the entire time. So right here I want to be able to kind of track work things, and I'm writing in a pencil because, you know, this is just me talking it through, but I'll be able to go back and kind of use it. But most of this I want to be personal stuff. And so I'm going to have personal things kind of go right there. And then I do want to have a little section right here against the punches. It doesn't have to be a lot because I don't like, I'm not like a crazy like spender right now, but I do want to have a section for like daily expenses, right? So it will be right here like personal in my messy writing, right? And then right here is going to be any budgeting or tracking. And the times right here, I'm going to use across the entire way. Now, once it gets over here, it gets a little bit further, but I do definitely want to like have a small section for work. I do still plan to use my work planner for the rest of March, but I want to like be able to like note like if I'm working across time, like what are my hours and like how it kind of compares to my personal. So I wanted to like kind of put that here, but mostly it's going to be personal and then budget. I am also right here going to like do any faith related things. So if I, for example, do like Bible readings or any creativity things, I'm gonna note those here, but I'll still probably use my faith and creativity sections to do like the longer note writing for those sections, or like coloring and lettering and that kind of thing for those sections. Here is just writing down major personal stuff and then faith and creativity. Okay, so you saw me erase right there because like this side, I need more space for other things. I already, like when I paused the video, realized that I was needing to like add already a couple of sections. So I decided to just add this piece in instead of like recording an entirely new video. So back to my ruler. One of the things that I realized I needed was like a wellness section. Like this is like a hot mess kind of video, you guys. One of the things I could probably do, and I think I'll do that actually, is like have a section right here that is social media. Let's just go ahead and make it. So this will be social media. All right, and then what I want to be able to do is kind of like, I need like a double box. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it just like on this side, just like I've been doing with the other stuff. So I'm going to just draw a line right here. Okay, so this is the new plan. Like, you guys, this is a hot mess. Okay, so this is gonna be work, the column straight down. This will be personal, faith, and creativity. And again, this is just like me making notes for like major things that are happening. This will be budget. This will be wellness. And what I'm gonna do is actually draw this line all the way down. So one of the things that happens is, you know, like I'm not gonna use all of these lines, I don't think, like for each of these columns. But I'll have enough room for everything, I think, doing it like this. I don't love this idea. I'm gonna erase this. I need like a little bit more space to write like to-do list type stuff, I think. All right, so I'm going to, let's measure this. I'm gonna use the actual like, I need a real ruler like with like the actual numbers, just the numbers themselves instead of this, but this is okay too. So what I'm gonna do is, I think maybe do it at 2.5. All right, so it'll be 2.5 just from this line. This is not gonna be perfect in any way, shape, or form, but it will give me kind of an like a loose guide for how this will be done. And I'll probably, you know, off camera go through and just do this for all of them. Okay, so now here we go. Work, personal / faith / creativity. And again, for faith and creativity, I'm just kind of writing down what I am doing, and I still have my Franken planner, still plan to use that for work, for faith, for creativity, for all of these things, right? And so here for faith and creativity, I'm just gonna make note that I like got into my Bible, or that I was doing some lettering or coloring or something, and then I'll have the actual like longer notes in my faith section, or the like coloring sheet, or the doodles, or whatever for creativity in the creativity planner. Then I have my budget, again, like this is where I'm gonna note it, but I will still use my budget planner. So I'm gonna go and transfer these budget notes into my budget planner, just less regularly than I am doing right now. Wellness, I will also transfer over to wellness, my wellness planner. I mentioned this in a previous video, but this is one of the sections where I may or may not delete it, so that's still up in the air. But for March, I'll just kind of make note of it here, and then that stuff will end up transferred to the wellness section. And then social media, I think social media is one that I just will delete for the time being, and so I'll make all of my notes here for social media. This may or may not be enough room, I have no idea. So we'll leave this space for right here with social media, and then this will be my food log. I actually spend a lot of time logging food, and so I want to have more room here to log food, so that's there. And then here will be tasks. Okay, and so let me double check work, personal. I'm doing the order that they're normally in. So work, personal, faith, and creativity, that's the order in my planner. After creativity is wellness, then my food log, then it is social media, and then my money. And really I should put it in that order. I'm wondering if I should do that. I probably should, but it might like just kind of throw off this line. So I'm just gonna leave it for right now. I think this will be fine. I will be able to work with this. Now, what I'm gonna do is for most of these sections, for this will be my personal planner, so I'm not gonna worry about transferring that. But for faith, for creativity, for work, faith, creativity, budget, wellness, and probably not these two, but definitely for these other sections I just mentioned, I will still use the pieces that I have for March and kind of transfer those notes over. And so if I get too busy, I won't have to do that, but like the one that I have to, I feel I do that, is my monthly budget, just because I do operate on a monthly budget. I want to be able to have those numbers over there so that way I could do my final math at the end of the month. So again, it might not be a regular thing. I just need to be able to transfer those numbers over there at some point. So I think now I've covered all the sections instead of like the kind of like thinking about all the things and just trying to like throw it on the paper at that moment. I went through my Franken planner and pulled out all of the sections of my Franken planner, and I've got them all here. Now, this does not address Sophia's memory book or Sophia's question and answer, but those live on their own. I will take notes for those things here in this personal section, just like I would, I mean, I'm with Sophia most of the time, so I would just make note of it there anyway. And so this will be a chance for me to basically to use it like lined paper with a like hourly side right here, and across all of these things I will just kind of use the same set of times. And so like if I eat at 6:30, I'll kind of have it in that section. If I eat at 11:30, it'll kind of be in that section. So I think this is the main benefit here, is this breakdown of 30-minute intervals. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully it was not too all over the place for you. I will try to use this for a couple of days, and if this does work, then what I'm gonna do is come back on with like an actual like maybe after the pen, or like write with me as I put together a daily plan, or like as I track things during the day. And so if it does work, that's what we'll do. At some point I need to put dates on here too, like what the actual date is. But for right now, this is the plan. When I'm busy, it's pretty much just pen to paper. And so this will be functional enough for me to be able to track everything that I need and to be able to get everything done. So that's the main thing, is like losing tasks across time. So this will be where I kind of do some of that stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel. And until the next video, bye guys.